your life is on the line and you know that you're on an oxygen tank and they're going to put two in your head, see what you do. Because the bottom line is that me, I'm one person. I can never miss.
The guy's not being loyal to you. How could you be loyal to him?
Yeah,
and whether you're your father or not. So, you know, but it's always been hard because it was my father.
The word came down, this guy had to go. You know, we didn't know nothing about him until the last minute. And I liked him. I liked Bill. He was a nice guy, but...
Welcome to the show. Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Hector Camacho Jr.
Macho time. Bill, what's up, baby? Everything good, man. Blessed to see another day, you know?
Definitely, man. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you taking the time. Man. Definitely, man. A lot of people are looking forward to this interview. Yeah. Shout out to Pasquale Pontiac. So Pasquale, he's from Spanish Harlem. Well, not Spanish Harlem. He's from East Harlem. And he said he was acquaintance with your dad. He was around a lot of people that were out around that area in that time when he was around. He said he was friends. I was friends with your father in East Harlem.
Yeah, that's where we from. That's home. We're all family out there, man. Even though times have changed now, but yeah, man. Yeah, that's home.
So I missed the street renaming, man. I was in Philadelphia at the time. I wanted to go there. It was raining that morning. I remember the morning. And I have a video of it when how was it that day?
Hey, man, you know, it was touching for me personally, you know. This is a great accomplishment, you know, well deserved.
It's huge,
and with different meanings for me, you know. And I hope it stays up to this day to me for different purposes. Not only Macho Camacho was great in boxing, the struggles he came from, the hard times, like you know that you know I was a part of it.
Yeah.
So you know, blood, sweat, and tears, like it took, you know. No matter what you've been through, those same streets where he got arrested, the same streets he used to fight. He came back and turned negative to positive. That's how I took it. And forever, that's my name, so it feels good, you know?
Yeah, to see your name on
the legacy keeps on, you know?
I mean, Lexington is a well-established street. That's like as famous as it comes when it comes to Harlem.
Yeah, I mean, Lexington Avenue, yes, of course. But when it comes to something well-deserved, you know, part of the, you know, what he meant for Spanish Harlem, for Puerto Rico, worldwide, you know, just putting that work in, it shows that anything's possible, you know?
Yeah, he worked hard. He worked hard to get his name on there.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. So here, let's watch this video real quick and then we'll talk about it.
I made it!
Whoa!
Watch the bird fly. See the bird fly right there. See it?
Macho time! Yeah!
So awesome, man.
I made it!
Whoa. Man. Really is.
Macho! Woo! Yeah! Hector Camacho! It's Macho time!
It's great, man. It really is.
It was a rainy day. People still came out, and you know, it was beautiful for the fans, especially for us family. For me, you know, it was a meaning, you know. Same time, you know, it hits me deeply, you know. The gun violence, man, is a problem everywhere, man. It's something horrible that's going on here in America. And every other day, you got, you know, innocent people getting killed on gun violence.
And you have a foundation, the Hector Camacho Foundation, that helps with gun
I have the
violence.
Macho Foundation, but yes, I also partner up with Kevin Oliver. He has his and his blessings. His son was murdered. His other son, died of fentanyl, and yeah, we out there pushing, man, putting the word out there, stop the gun violence, man. We got the gloves up, gun down, hands up, hands up, guns down. So we out there pushing.
Hey, people got to be fighting that fight, because if you don't do it, who's gonna do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, back in our days, like we have respect, man. You had a problem with somebody, that'll be dealt between them. Now, just bullets are going out. The young kids, just they're out there firing. Gun zone, nothing safe no more.
Do you remember back in the day when it would just be a regular street fight out in the street?
I'm talking back in the day like I'm old. Macho time. No, but yeah, I remember that's how I grew up, and that's what we seen before. It was safe. Maybe a gun, maybe a knife here or a blade here back in our days. But what race you are, you carry a knife. But yeah, it wasn't like that. Yeah, you get beat up, and you have to learn the hard way. You get bullied on.
Yeah, it wasn't no shooting after. It was just you got beat up, you took your licks and went home, right?
You lived to fight another day. That was the beautiful thing back then,
Yeah,
and there was more respect. Right. Back in the days, we had the town looking out. Couldn't do nothing because nosy Miss Rodriguez is looking out the window, or the nosy neighbor. So we have more respect. Now there's no respect, That's something that changed in the streets, We got to put the blame on the parents, man, on the fathers, on the mothers.
The world is changing at a fast pace, man.
At a fast pace, brother. At a fast pace, man.
It really is. So I want to talk to you, man, about what it was like to step into the ring the first time ever. Whether it was with your father, the first time you stepped into the ring and felt that feeling of, this is what I want to do with my life. What was that feeling like? And what was going through your head? Were you like, this is what I want to do? Did you have plans of grandeur when you were a kid?
Yeah. Growing up in Spanish Harlem, I used to play baseball, basketball. We had those leagues. You go to PAL league, you can join the other leagues in Turf Avenue, play two-hand touch. So my parents, my mother, really, I grew up with my mother. She always tried to keep me in the sports, to keep me out the streets. I even went to the boys club for a while when we were growing up. So yeah, I wanted to become a baseball player. I was good at all sports. I was fast. I mean, I was athletic, And then, of course, in 1986, I was about 8 years old. Well, I went inside the ring. My father fought Rosario, and I did a flurry. He lifted me up. Of course, that was the day that I wanted to be special. I wanted to be like my idol, my father, Macho Camacho. He was the Macho Dad. By the way, Macho Dad, I got a children's book out. Barnes and Nobles. You can see it called Macho Dad. But during that day, he was my Macho Dad. So it still didn't hit me when it came, when it came to boxing. When we moved to Orlando, Florida in 1992, my father was fighting Chavez. My mom, he blessed us with, to put a down payment, not to buy a house, to put a down payment in a house, and we moved to Orlando, Florida. So when we got to Orlando, Florida, it wasn't like New York City where we had the leagues everywhere, basketball league, PL. We didn't have those. And being in the street playing baseball or playing stickball, we couldn't do that in Orlando. It wasn't like that. You had a lot of cows over there. You had those kind of, it's country life. So my mother said, son, you can't come out of school every day and stay home and do nothing. Like, she didn't want me getting in trouble. Let's go and do something. I said, like, what? I said, let's go to the boxing gym. Boxing gym. I said, fuck it. All right, let's go. So she took me in there, and I remember me sparring. Well, young Mexican kid at that time. He had a couple of amateur fights, and I went in there and boxed, and I held my own. I did good. And coach said, hey, you can come back. The kid was good, And that's when I said, you know what? I may have it. I may have it. And you know what's funny? I became a boxer. It wasn't because of my father, it was because of my mother. But yes, of course, I wanted to be like my hero, like my father. But it was my mother who pushed me. But yeah, that's what it comes to that.
How old were you at that time?
I just moved. I was going to high school in Orlando, Florida, so I was 14. So when I started boxing, I was 15. And in 2 years, I was the #1 amateur boxer in the United States going to Olympic trials at 139. So going to Olympic Games in Atlanta. So yeah, that was something that was in the blood that just, came out natural, normal. You know what I'm saying?
So how old are you when you go to the Olympic Games, and what was
You had
that
to be
like?
18 to participate during that time. I was underage a little bit at that time, but yeah, I was there, #1 man going to Olympic trials.
It's amazing, man.
The good hard work. My father didn't know till I got closer to the Olympics. Somebody told him, he called me up. Hey, Papi, God bless him. He said, Papi, is it true you going to Olympics? I said, I ain't going to Olympics yet, but I'm ranked #1. I told him, that's what he wanted to help out with. He even set up a fight for me, see how good I was in Orlando, Florida, against a boxer called Hickley Lau. He was like the #1 fighter in Florida during that time, man. My pops set up a fight and I beat him, but yeah, he's always that macho type. Let me see you macho. My father's always treating me like that. Let me see you macho.
Was that a rough one? That fight?
Yeah, it was. He was the state champion. I beat him the 4 times before, but I mean that was a pretty, yeah.
You pretty much fought that fight because your dad wanted you to.
Yeah,
right?
He set it up. He wanted to make sure and see. He always been like that from small. I grew up with my grandmother, my mother, and my 2 aunts, Yolanda Marixa, my mother, my grandmother. So my father's always test me. And I'll let the story go. It's cool, I can put it in a book or whatever now. But so he's always telling me, Papi, so I was raised with 4 females. He's like, Papi, you like girls? She's like, actually, you like that? He just test me out. He's a macho man, been around girls. And one time he tested me one time. I was in a pool. And he called me, Papi. And that's during the time he asked me that question. I like girls. So he came to the pool again with the girl there. Let's go upstairs. And I'm in the pool chilling, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to go upstairs. But my father's home. Let me go in. Let me get out the pool and went upstairs. So when I get out the pool, he takes me over. I go upstairs. Okay, Bobby. Take off your towel. All right. I'll take a shower. No, take a towel here. Come on. She'll give you, a happy ending, so to speak. And I got Pancho, and I started crying. I was a little kid at that time, like 11 years old. But the girl said, okay, and she came towards me. It just, just started the experience, growing up with the macho man. So during that time, my pops always test me in those kind of ways, as being the macho man. Also, he used to pay a kid around the neighborhood called Renee, who passed away, God bless his soul. And that kid's always challenged me to fight in the neighborhood. My father to get him over. And to pay kids. I grew up that kind of rough way, him testing me.
Did you have animosity towards him for that? Did you ever feel like he's not around, he's coming around and he's telling me to do this and that, and I don't have to listen to him. He's not around all the time.
He was my idol. At the same time, it grew resentment. Yeah, as I got older, people just say, yeah, Camacho's son. If you Camacho's son, why you live in the projects? Yeah, Camacho's, I just get that a lot. Either that or, yeah, Camacho, and he wasn't around, And yeah, I was pissed during that time I was coming up. That's probably why I had that fire in my stomach, become a boxer, to get his attention. So, yeah, who knows? I mean, I don't know. That's why I had that fire coming up.
Yeah.
But, at some time it drew resentment. People didn't believe me or that type of things. But it wasn't like that. Like, he always, for the big fight, for the fights, he's always, take me to the fights. I was around. But it was like living, coming back, living and going to Disney. Wow, coming back to the real world, going back to the neighborhood, the projects, and
it's always exciting and there's always stuff going on.
Like a dream, then coming back to reality. So, that drew a little resentment, but now I understand now, as being a fighter myself, being a father, I have to provide for the family, the sacrifice you got to make, man. I'm more than appreciated.
But then once you got back to school after the flurry and all the kids are like,
oh, famous.
It was like that was it, right?
I was popular. Yeah. But during that time, along with that came, And that's probably why, you know, in life it kept me grounded, being who I am and what I have achieved also. Apart from my father, you know, being who he was, that kept me grounded was that, you know, as small, I always get pointed at, and you know, I just want to shy away from those, you know, kind of tension times, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like they want to test you just because you're the boxer's son. That's Camacho's son.
That, or they want to be cool with you because you're popular. So when you get them, especially in boxing, that's what I mean about boxing. Boxing's an ugly world, man. Boxing is an ugly world. You know, they pick us up. You don't need no college degree to get into boxing. So they take us and they exploit us, and you know what they do from there, man. Like 90% of fighters retire broke. You know, it's a dirty system. So I grew up seeing that when I was young. You know, I grew up seeing, I used to watch my father. I was about like 10, 12 years old. He used to park in front of the bar. I used to stay in the car. I used to watch him. I was gonna hang out, you know. I had to watch him, his drinks and everything. People to treat him. People talk shit to people, pointing at him and talk about him, and they don't want to take a picture. Like I seen that even growing up. I seen that, you know, when we hanged out together and people in the club, they weren't on Camacho's son, but they'll talk, you know, they'll talk crap about him. Yeah, that right. You know, that I know when I hear it, then you know, so I seen that fake life, you know, and they kind of like, you know, yeah, I wanted to shy away from it growing up. So through my career, that's what kept me like grounded and away from, you know, try to keep myself clean.
I hear that, man. And you're doing a great job. I see you working out every day, man. Puddles of sweat pouring out of your sleeve and things. You're wild and doing all that, man.
Yeah, you know, I have to cut it out now. It's too hot out there in Texas, man.
You'll hurt yourself doing that type of stuff.
I am, dude. I am.
What is the reason for that type of thing? Like for cutting weight so drastically? What's the reason for all that?
You know, with me as I got older, that's been one of my issues in boxing is the weight. I love to eat. I love to eat. But the cutting weight part, you know, I try to rush it off because I mean, when I eat. When I go up in between fights, I gain all that weight. And recently, to get that weight down, going to cost me double. It's not that easy. I'm older now. So I try to take that as an advantage and try to bust my chops if I have 2 months away from a fight, which I haven't active much, but it helps out the first month. Then I try to coast and recuperate the last month. Just things that, you know, that helps me, you know, at amateur boxing. But amateur days, but like you said, it does affect me. How many times I come home dizzy? My wife gets scared. Yeah.
All your water's out of your body.
Oh
it's
my God.
It's like, wow, man! I see you've got all these suits. You a pack of suits in
the shirt, and my wife got to deal with that every time. Hey, take your clothes and put it in. You know, she got to deal with it. No clothes all sweaty up, and yeah, man, brother. So yeah. But it keeps me going. That's life for me. That's my zone. It keeps me mentally sane. We all need that in life. A zone that we can get away from everything, we mentally sane. That's mine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not working. It's fun now. And now that I'm in my last, you know, I'm not the young boy no more. But you know, it's and that's definitely a message for the youth, man, for people watching, you know, have their sons that want to fight. You know, get out your mind. It's guaranteed to become a boxer, you'll make money. Boxing don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Boxing's a rough sport, man. You gotta put a lot into it, you know. It's not saying you can't. It's possible. There's millions of champions. To be superstars, there's few.
But you have to make a crazy sacrifice to do that, right? It's a lot. Man. It's not like you can't work a full-time job and do all this. Do you think that's possible? Someone to work a full-time job and do professional boxing?
Boxing is a full-time job. I guess that's, you know, that's, you know, and you know what? I was speaking to a fighter who's fighting on my show August 26th, in Wyoming, you know, in Cheyenne, and he has a job. He wakes up in the morning, he texts me, "Hey, Macho, get busy. It's time to run. It's time to." So he gets up early, he texts me, and you know, definitely, where you going? I'm going to work. He texts me again. I just got to work, going to the gym. Come on, Macho, we got to push. There's people who have to do it, you know. That just things. Their circumstance, I mean, which is tough.
I hear that, man. So you started to, you have some fights coming up, and you help out a lot of fighters. Do you think that they should start like how the NFL does when they draft people? Should they do that type of stuff with boxing so that they're just not snatching people off from here and there? Should they have like a regulations that they go through?
You know what, man? Boxing. What I love when I first got into boxing, what I've saw my life growing up has changed now. We're in different times now. Boxing's going to a whole nother zone, whole nother metaverse and this and that. We go to a whole nother space that, you know, the language is completely off for us old time fighters. And so, I mean, who knows? You know, speaking to promoters now for the August 26th day, star endorsement. I mean, the way they got their company structure for the fighters, you sell pay-per-view, you sell ticket, this percentage is different. You know, it's, you know, boxing is another type of, it's more business now than a sport. It's no longer than what it was, man. That might be a good idea. Draft 5. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough sport.
I mean, there's tons of people that are getting into it, man. And so what do you think? I want to really ask you this. People probably want to know this. What do you think about the Gotti and Mayweather fight that recently happened in Florida? Did you see that?
I didn't see the fight. Of course, I see the melee, what happened, you know, afterwards. What I think about it, I mean, I think it's entertainment. I don't know if it crossed the line. Another reason why boxing had changed is because of Floyd Mayweather. But you can't put the blame on Floyd. I mean, he accomplished so much for the game. I mean, he earned it. He earned to do these little events. You know, we're not talking about, you know, whatever fighter. We're talking one of the best fighters. You know, so you could blame him for what's going on in boxing now. All these YouTubers and et cetera, et cetera. The game has changed, but I don't know. But it's tough. You know, it's real tough.
So you told me last time that one of the most accomplished times in your life was when you and your dad were on the same card.
Yeah. It depends. So we fought on the card 3 times, on the same card 3 times together.
What was that like first time?
First time was my pro debut.
So did you call him and tell him, hey, I want you on the card? How did it go? Like, how did you set it up? Did you like?
Okay, that time my pro debut, I was just getting out the Olympic trials. So when I got out during that time, Mike Aiken, God bless his soul, another fallen soldier in boxing, promoter, passed away. Well, he called me up and Macho, put you on, you know. Matter of fact, it was October 1st. I remember the day clear, October 1st. I could put you on double head with your father. Your father, the main event, USA boxing, and you open up the show. So all right, that sounds good. So I was excited. I didn't train my father during that time. If I was in Orlando training, I was in Puerto Rico. And it was nerve-wracking. It was my pro debut. I remember wrapping my hands. My trainer wrapping my father comes to my room. First he tell me is, hey, you better not lose. I said, come on, Pops. You know what I'm saying? Well, pro debut.
Pressure on you, right? A little bit.
And do this, and I'm trying to get in my zone. So every time I'm on the same show, my father, it's always nerve-wracking. You know what I'm saying? Just his energy. It was always one of those. And then one of the times that we fought together was my 3-time world championship, I'll call it. Like my father won. That was my highlight of my career. When he fought on my show, I was the main event on KO Nation on HBO. I was the main event. My father fought my undercard. When that fight happened, and my uncle fought the same night as well. Me, my father, my uncle, called Mucho Macho Madness in South Beach. During that time, that was I felt like, okay, I got here. I accomplished my goal. That's my world championship, my 3-time world championship. That was my goal in my life, to be known for myself, for me, being Hector Camacho Jr. And I felt I accomplished that when HBO bought me as main event.
Yeah.
And that was some ego shit.
You're not the undercard. You're not the undercard.
Nah, my father's on my undercard now.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to tell him. I was like, hell, no. Your guy's going to tell him that. And now my father is.
Do you know how did he react when he was told he was going to be on the undercard?
When he called me, I said, "Pa, I prefer you to be on the main event." You know what I'm saying? Out of respect, and I meant that from the heart. You know what I'm saying? And I told the promoters that, I said, "No, you the main event. That's how I can be. That's the order." How much you getting paid? He asked me. Hey, and that's what that conversation came about. So I had to make the deal sweeter for him on one side for it to happen. But it was just experience. My uncle fought the same day. If you look it up on maybe YouTube, Camacho versus Junior versus Rocky Martinez, you see the fight. You hear my father screaming at me throughout the whole fight. Move your hand, jab, jab. Hey, that alone is it's like wow. It's like it was pressure.
What was it? Who were you fighting that time?
I was fighting Rocky Martinez. It was nothing but pressure, brother. You know, the hamster, hey, screaming at me. It was always like that, man. Now I got to, let me give a shout out to my sponsor.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Border City Music Group, my man D'Angelo, man, who set up a great entrance for this fight, August 26th in Cheyenne, in Wyoming, which, I hate to say it, it got postponed now to October 28th. The fight card still goes on. I'm going to be there to host it. But, yeah, my title fight particularly got pushed to October 28th. That's the time frame we're looking at. And tell you the truth, man, Bill, I could use extra 2 months, I'm not a spring chicken no more, man. I was busting my chops every day.
So you're gonna be fighting. You're gonna be fighting on this one.
Yeah, now August 26th, I'll be hosting it.
Yeah, on the October one.
Yeah, October. God willing, man. Everything, going accordingly. I'll be accomplishing another goal at my age. They come back and win a title. That doesn't matter. It's not the top title, but for me, it means a lot at my age. They're coming back, and to accomplish that, put the hard work in.
I found it, man. You're in luck.
Yeah, the Macho Man was on the show, and along from them comparing me to my father.
Kevin Kelly and Kevin, despite all the antics from Hector Camacho Sr., it's obvious that Junior embraces his father.
There you go. Yo, that's just what it is.
Be like his father, or even better than his father. I think
he said it's even better than his father.
Yeah, it got to a point. People were saying, he may be better than his father. And when it got to that point, I was coming up. I was knocking people out. I was on a hot streak. And I didn't want people to say, I would never compare myself to you, Bob. We be hanging out and know where the conversation will come up. If you become better than me, you need to become 7-time world champion. You need to be there. Pops, come on. I don't dare compare myself,
Did you guys ever get into it? Did you guys ever have a fight against each other?
I always respected my father. He was my icon. He was my idol. I'm a firm believer, honor your mother and father. I'm a firm believer, be a good person, I got a good heart. But had we sparred before? Yeah, we sparred before. Yeah. And I stopped sparring, and God bless my father. I stopped sparring when I started really, catching them. Then I slowed down. I didn't, that's my father. I didn't want that disrespect. It got to a point that, that my father was telling me good things. He wasn't really driving me crazy. Like, hey, you're a good boxer puncher. Hey, and that helped me a lot. Okay, cool. But that's when I stopped sparring with him. I didn't want that disrespect. And people saying that kind of things. Yeah, he might be better than his father. That was a total disrespect. I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I wanted to become good. I felt neglected when I was young. Hell yeah. I had that fire, that drive in me.
Oh yeah, man. That's what it takes to get to where you've been,
Yeah, that comparison. But you know what, Bill? I never took it like a shadow. Wow, man. Nah, I took it like a light, a blessing. Like he's my everything, during that time,
Yeah. So
Yes, you can see the speed.
This is your dad's fight, right?
That's my fight. See, even you think that's the Macho Man. But if you could hear my father screaming, you hear him screaming throughout the rounds.
Your thoughts, Kevin, on finishing off?
Yo, some of the pictures, you look just like your dad, man.
That's what they say. They want to see my mother, like your mother. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, that's him screaming. You hear him?
That's him.
And that's every fight the same thing. The boxing ring, I mean, the gym. I couldn't train with her.
Did you feel like you had control of this whole fight? Like,
oh yeah. I was comfortable, man. During those days, man, I had a fire in me. I wanted to be known for me, Hector Camacho Jr. You know, that was one of the key fights. I was main event. I had Sammy Sosa at the game. I had Lenny Kravitz there. I mean, I had stars coming out, and I felt good. I was getting respect. You know, Camacho Jr. You know, that's what I reached my tops. And while Mess boxing up with the Jesse James Leija fight, I was the next Latino superstar. That fight happened, caught a headbutt. Oh, come on. And then that's when the bad talks came in. I should have known better because in my father's career, it happened with him doing the Rosario fight. How in the boxing where it could turn against you. You be a superstar one day, and the next day you know about how boxing is. On to the next fighter.
That's really how it
Only
is, right?
few fighters. Legacy lives. The Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, you know, Duran, the Macho Camacho. That's special. I said that Shrevey name is special to me, to the family, to all of us who's a Macho Man fan. Not only that, you know, Macho is different.
People don't reach them heights, man.
No.
There's not a lot of people in this world that can say they have done the things that you and your father have done.
For me, a little easier, but I didn't have to. I did to prove myself to my father and to myself that I'm good too. It's in my DNA. I always had that attitude. I'm playing basketball, baseball, I'm good. I always been one of those type of, if you wouldn't pick me 102, you play football back then in the street, you have to pick people one. I want him, you want. I always get picked 102. If I didn't get picked one, I get pissed off. Yeah, so
yeah, because you wanted to
even
show
the boxing gym.
You wanted to show that you can do good, right?
Yeah. It was always one of those type of things. Then if I'm small, you know what? That always getting pointed. Oh, that's Bill Jr. Hey, Billy. If I'm small, it's good. But your father was great. No matter what you do, if you have a podcast, hey, your father was the best. And you doing podcasts too. You want to get how about And that's big shoes to fill. So I didn't use that as a shadow. I used that as a light. Yeah, Pop was great. He's the best ever. He's the Macho Man. And I always kept that feeling inside. Proud.
He was a character, man. He would walk around with that big gold chain and some of the outfits that he would wear.
Yeah, he changed the game. You know what's funny? If you watch boxing now, about 85% of boxers wear those trunks, like the Macho Man. They probably know where they get it from. It came from Macho Camacho. Now everybody walking into the ring different now. Even Tyson Fury and this guy, Macho Man with the Muhammad Ali was self-promoted. Macho Man was self-promoted. Like pass the microphone, Macho time,
He was out in the street. He was visible. He was talking to people. People said he was a real personable person.
Yeah.
He was out there. He wasn't, and people have told me, I've spoken to a lot of people who had connections with your dad, and they said they would tell him, put your chain away, it's dangerous. And he would be like, man, no, I ain't worried about that. That was like the last thing on his mind.
Pop was on the streets. He was a problem, He's a light to fights. But he was a showman. He was cocky, but he was loved in the streets. If you knew him, the underground loved him. For some reason, no matter what hood he go to, they loved him. And he was him, during his time in the 80s, he was like, Sugar Ray was doing that time. But Macho Man was different. He was shiny. Then that bad boy life, which always makes you more, controversy. You draw more interest. Not just who he was.
A lot of people loved your dad, and Puerto Rico is such a small place. When he got killed, and the killer wasn't found right away, was like he's such a popular person. Like, I can't believe I can imagine the shock that everybody was in, and I'm just surprised that they didn't find the killer faster. You know what I mean?
I don't even think they found the killers. I haven't kept in contact. I haven't kept in touch with that case. My grandmother has. I still don't. I haven't heard much. They kept me out the loop because I had questions. Like it's a broad street, got no cameras. Like I had a lot of questions that wasn't making sense, and so they kept me out there. Well, anyway. And on top of that, Puerto Rico had a lot of cases that have been unsolved. I mean, those are things that happen all the times out there in Puerto Rico. And there's nothing gonna bring my father back to life. He's gone. I don't blame the killer. I just blame the streets. That's just what's in the streets. Streets are for the cars. They ain't for people to be out there and streets are tough, man. I'm saying it's gun violence, man. It's really it's killing us, Dad, and drugs is killing us.
That's why this foundation is so important to get people to understand that there's a way out. You don't have to fall victim to this all the time. Like me, I was stuck in the addiction of drugs and alcohol. I was in and out of prison. I was never gonna stop that until I finally like what am I doing, man? That was gonna be my life. It was gonna be for the rest of my life. I didn't cut it out,
So that's why I'm out there constantly pushing, my foundation, it's more like giving back for my foundation. What I use it for, I did a boxing event to make it Republic, basically gave out, get the kids off the streets, pay for gym dues for the kids, get them out the streets, man, push them to boxing. That's what saved my life, saved my father's life. He came from tough surroundings. That's what saved us. But at the end, if you stay towards that life, that's what's gonna happen. But I push and I really push that with kids, man, future boxers, like keep your and I push to the family, the fathers and the mothers. Keep your kids in sports. Keep them in sports. Believe that. You take them out of school, put them in the boxing gym. By the time they get home, they won't go to sleep. You have to worry about them hanging out. Keep them in sports. But that's
teaching discipline. Like, because when you're teaching kids or anybody boxing, it teaches them discipline.
Yeah.
Right.
Self-esteem. Give them confidence. It helps a lot of things. Weight management. You want to lose some weight. And also the bullying is a big issue nowadays. You know what I'm saying? It's a big issue, man. So, if I want to learn how to defend myself, I always take my time out for them, I even did online classes a couple of times. I just kept myself going. It's something I love to do. It's hard to do something you love. Boxing means so much, man. And that's something that I know, eyes closed.
We were talking about you possibly starting a Patreon channel and doing lessons for people or whatever you would do, podcasting, inside background footage of things that you do. I think a lot of people would like that.
No, I like to stay busy, man. I definitely like to stay busy. I got a lot of projects going on at the moment. I know Hollywood is shut down right now, but I have projects going on.
Oh man, I did too.
Relaxing.
Since last time I seen you, I've been in a movie. I was in a TV show. I've been all over the country. I traveled all over the place. And this writer strike kind of has everything on hold, man.
Keeping the mind busy. We gotta keep ourselves busy, man. I'm always searching for something, a new avenue, man. That's why I asked you about the podcast. I'm always searching, keep myself busy, keep myself happy,
Definitely.
By the way, August 5th, man, in New York City, Spanish Harlem, my neighbor, we're doing a tribute to my father, also to the great salsa singer, Spanish Puerto Rican salsa singer, Frankie Ruiz. We're doing a Spanish Harlem free concert to the public and also bringing awareness. So I try to keep myself busy.
When is that? June 6th?
No, August 5th. Coming up next Saturday.
I'll try to go out there, man.
A free concert. Thanks to Marcela. We're doing a free concert have to come outside, have fun. I don't give a little speech up there, to talk to the youth, talk to the community. We gotta be on top of our kids, man. Back in the old days, it took a village. We need to go back to those days, man. We losing the battle. You know what I'm saying? And just give a good little motivation. Anything's possible. And show
Where do
face.
they have it?
I
Is it
love to
like
do
a
that.
park? Is it at a park?
Yes, 100th Street, Lexington Avenue. There you go, Lexington Avenue again, the big street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But we have to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like I talk to a lot of these youth, like you killing this guy from that block. Cops come lock you up. They taking a 2-for-1. Like that's what we killing ourselves, brother.
And then what? They just sit in prison and waste their whole life away for nothing. Like, and it really needs to stop, man. Every day I watch the news and crazy things are happening left and right. It's like we need to work together and people need to try to push one another in a positive direction instead of tearing people down, man.
Yeah, that's tough. We live in those times, man. We live in those times, definitely. And also, and also we also add to the Sing for the Cure is cancer awareness. That's what the event's about next Saturday, August 5th, in New York City. Spread the word. Just be careful. We gotta talk to the youth. We gotta watch what you eat. Also now, be careful with the meat. Be careful with the things. I think the process, a lot of lab food is going on. Like it's be mindful of certain things. I want to put the word out there with.
Yeah, man, it's insane. There's so many different things you got to watch out for nowadays.
Not even water's safe.
I know you got. It's crazy, man. Like, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Like,
yeah, man. And it's scary when things are quiet right now. The COVID stop. It's scary when those kind of things happen. Something gonna hit sooner or later. That's just how life is. It's funny.
Hey, it's over and over. It's a constant things pop up, and you just got to deal with them as they come, I guess, right?
Yeah, life is a fight. I always tell you, life is a fight.
You just can't let it knock you down, man. You gotta keep it pushing.
Keep that heart pure,
Definitely. I really appreciate you taking the time, man. I really
hey, Bill,
do.
It's macho time. You call me whenever, ring the bell. I will say a couple of words, I'm looking forward again. I'll be fighting October, man, for another title, man. So I'm happy about that, man. You see me back in the gym training again, getting sharp, losing weight, and just trying to make history for myself, keep the legacy going forward, man. So
where is that fight taking place at?
We still got 2 locations, man. We still got 2 venues. One in Texas, where I'm at. Another might be in Louisiana, but that's something they worry about after August 26th, of course,
Yeah. Definitely let me know, man. I'll promote it for you and get it out there so people can know where to get the tickets, and we'll get this going. And if anyone wants to donate towards the Macho Foundation, you can hit up his Cash App, $ capital MM, capital P, promotion, and hit up his Cash App and donate to the kids, man, so he can help them out. And if you guys like this type of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Until next time. Thanks, Hector.
Thank you, brother. Macho time.